I really want to, like, because a lot of people, most of the people I've talked to who've had co-founder disputes, especially the company's still going and they don't like talking about it because they can get sued and they're out of the company, right? And I'm so happy that you're open talking about it. So I kind of want to know, because I know, I mean, the biggest reason startups fail is because of co-founder disputes, right? So first of all, why do you think that is?
Um, yeah, it is. It is. I believe statistically, like published by there was some statistics published by Forbes a few years ago where it said it's a third highest reason for startups to fail. The other two being not getting enough funding or
Right.
not the market not really having a need of your company. So you're right. You said it's a pretty big problem. I personally think, at least from my own learnings, the key was to take your time to really get to know the person you're founding a company with much better. Sometimes the situations don't allow for it, so you kind of like think there's an opportunity, the time is right, you don't want to wait for too long, and you kind of just jump into it, right? Which kind of what happened with me. So sometimes you don't necessarily get to plan it out like you should. So ideally speaking, though, I would say my best, the best pairs of co-founders I've come across so far have been ones who have worked together for a few years in the past, or have been colleagues in the past, or have co-founded, or like even done some initiatives or projects together, or have known each other since college or school days or childhood, or have shared a few years of like friendship together with each other where they've built like deep trust. Again, you still have co-founder issues, but I think with these, the probability really goes down in a big way. And also, I mean, of course, on the tactical side of things, it's more like ensuring that there's not too much overlap in skill sets, that there's complementary skill sets that you're bringing to the table, and such as well, and how you see the vision of things developing. Can you have mutual respect amongst each other, and that deep trust as well? So to me, yeah, forming that bond, that trust, and having some past experience of having worked with each other in some form or shape, I think really goes a long way to finding a good co-founder.
That's a very interesting point you made because I think I have been through that as well. I think a lot of times, and because I get that question a lot where people are like, oh, I want to start this business and I don't have a co-founder, especially tech co-founders, right? And they're like, where do I go? And then you see people going on these fucking weird ass sites to try to find a co-founder, which is like you're basically it's like getting married in a sense, right? Like, um, I I think I do. I think it's an interesting point, but looking back now, when I look back at it, I think you're right. It is the narrow mindset, especially when you're young, especially when you're 20s, thinking this opportunity would never come again because for some reason this is the goal you hit, and you're like, I need to make it work right now, otherwise I would never be an entrepreneur, or this will never work, or I will never have an opportunity like this. This weird narrow mindset, and you get greedy, and you just like you don't think logically because you're so. Would you say that's correct, kind of thing?
I think so. Yes. I mean, it was a similar thing for me. I was a bit older at the time. As in, I was 30 at the time, but
Yeah.
I was in the space similar, like you said, which was like I just spent a couple of years in Silicon Valley. Everyone around me is a 20-year-old with a Tesla and an apartment in San Francisco doing some amazing startup, and I'm like, my opportunity and my time is going away so fast.
Yeah.
I need to do this now. And hey, I mean, like my co-founder seems to kind of fit the mold, even though I don't know him too well. So why not? Was like, yeah, it was exactly what you said, essentially.